So, what is that weird looking ball with the handle on top that we always see in the corner of the gym? Well, that's a kettlebell. And kettlebell, or gyrya in Russian, is a physical conditioning tool that has long been used in Russia. Now, the kettlebell did not gain popularity in the United States until the late 90s, but ever since then it's become a very important aspect in training programs for many sports, including CrossFit, mixed martial arts, and even many military physical conditioning programs. Now, the average American does not know what a kettlebell is, and even many who might recognize it in the gym probably don't understand the correct methods to employ it. Hi, my name is Joey, and given the rising popularity of the kettlebell, it's very important to understand the origins of it and how it is used in training. So, what is the weird looking ball with the handle on top? Well, archaeologists have traced the origins of the kettlebell back to ancient Greece, and there's even a kettlebell stored in the Archaeological Museum of Olympia, which is in Athens, Greece. Now, kettlebells made their way into Russia around 1704, as can be seen by the word gyrya, meaning kettlebell, being added to the Russian dictionary. Now, first the kettlebell was used as a weight to measure grains and other goods. Now, during festivals, vendors began swinging and lifting the kettlebells over their heads to display their strength and brawn. Now, during the 1770s, Dr. Vladislav Krosky, who is considered to be the founder of heavy athletics, traveled to Europe studying the various forms of physical training to try and gain some new ideas. On August 10, 1885, Dr. Krosky opened an athletic training hall where he introduced these exercises, especially kettlebells, to the Russian athletic community. During the early 20th century, Russian kettlebell techniques began to travel beyond the borders of Russia. However, World War I during that era ultimately led to the techniques staying within the country, although they did continue to flourish. Now, in 1998, Pavel Swatzlin, who is a former Soviet Special Forces trainer, wrote an article explaining kettlebells in American Weightlifting magazine, where it gained very positive attention. His article proved very noteworthy, and shortly thereafter, kettlebells began being manufactured in the U.S., with Pavel being hired to teach their use. There are many different organizations that train the use of kettlebells, and the most popular of these is probably the Russian Kettlebell Challenge, or RKC. Now, the RKC was first introduced in 2001 by Dragon Door, who is also the first company to manufacture kettlebells in the U.S. Other kettlebell instructor courses out there include the International Kettlebell and Fitness Federation, the CrossFit Kettlebell Certification, and the Agatsu Kettlebell Certification in Canada. Alright, so now that you understand the basics and origins of the kettlebell, let's talk about the different styles of kettlebells out there. Now, there are two basic styles of kettlebells, and in that there's a myriad of models and manufacturers out there. So like I stated earlier, Dragon Door was the first company to manufacture kettlebells in the United States. And these Russian style kettlebells, as can be seen here, are distinguished by their handle that resembles the outline of Mickey Mouse ears on top. Now, this style of kettlebell is labeled in both kilograms and pounds, but as you can see, mine here is labeled in pounds. Now, this style, the thickness of the handle and the size of the bell can vary depending on the weight of the kettlebell. This style handle does make it easier for two-handed exercises, as you can see here, but like I said, the size of the bell changing and the size of the handle changing with the different weights allows for inconsistency when trying to learn techniques. Now, the second type we're going to talk about is going to be the competition style kettlebell, which are considered the standard in Russia for the sport of kettlebell lifting. Now, in this style, the shape of the handle emulates more of a box shape. And I don't have an actual competition style kettlebell, but I do have some pictures here to notate the differences in the types. Now, like I said, the competition style handle is more of a box shape, so it's squared off as seen here, compared to the Mickey Mouse shape as can seen on the Russian style here. Now, this style of kettlebell is going to be labeled primarily in kilograms, as can be seen here, labeled in 8 kilograms. Now, the importance of these, as you can see, as I described, is going to be that the bell and the size of the handle on this style does not change no matter what the weight of the kettlebell. So that does allow for consistency when trying to learn more advanced techniques of different exercises. So, now let's talk about some ways that kettlebells are used. Now, kettlebells have been used in countless forms and variations of physical training, but are most commonly used in total body exercise. The kettlebell is legendary in training core strength along with developing power and strength in the lower body. Now, the kettlebell swing is widely considered the most important kettlebell exercise and is very basic in nature. And today I'm going to demonstrate the Russian swing variation for you. Now, in the Russian swing of the kettlebell swing, all you're going to do is have your feet just slightly wider than shoulder width apart. Hold the kettlebell with two hands, as so. And you're just going to dip down your hips, keeping your feet flat on the floor. Put the kettlebell between your legs and use your hips and pelvis to thrust the kettlebell up in the air, like so. Now, you want the height of the kettlebell not to go any higher than where your eyes are looking at the horizon. Now, an important thing not to do in this exercise is, you can see, I'm not using my shoulders and arms to pull the kettlebell up. My hands are just simply holding the kettlebell so it doesn't hit the ground while using my hips and pelvis to thrust the kettlebell in the air. Now, many variations of the swing are used today, and if trained correctly, the swing can develop monstrous core and lower body strength. Now, there are also lots more advanced exercises that the kettlebell can be used for. Two popular examples are going to be the Turkish get-up, which is a slow exercise and concentrates more on core stability. And then you have the kettlebell snatch, which actually takes the kettlebell up overhead. Now, utilizing these techniques takes a lot of practice, but they can help and develop power and strength throughout the entire body. Hopefully after today's discussion on the kettlebell, you have a greater understanding of what that weird-looking ball with the handle on it is really used for. And I hope that after discussing the origins, styles, and even going over a few basic exercises has allowed you to realize the great potential and simplicity the kettlebell can provide in any person's physical training regimen.